to free. All right, I think we're live. Hi, guys. Back for our next Vibecoding session. Robin, you want to explain what we're doing here today?
Hello, everyone. So today we are going to be building an NFT collection in our Vibecoding session. So essentially, the idea is we want to try and go across three different potential paths a person could, uh, you know, use to if they want to build their own NFT collection and deploy it, right? So the major part of building an NFT collection is going to be obviously the art, and that's where we're going to be focusing some of our time on. Christine here will be going through the traditional artist way, like a digital artist would probably build something via Illustrator, and we might vibe create some artwork through Illustrator, and then Christian will also go through some actual vibe coding, like building out the NFT collection via cursor, and then we have a surprise no code tool so that anyone can actually build this. Like you don't really need to be technical, you don't have to be an artist, you can just write what you want, prompt it, and just create, right? So Naruto looks like there's some comment about your kernel, but yeah, so that's what we are going to be doing today. Glad you're with us right now, and yeah, let's see what we build.
Awesome.
Just for the record, I did restore my kernel, but I lost a lot of things doing that. We won't go deep into that.
Oh, no. Okay, so with that said, Naruto is going to be busy doing that, but we got it covered. So we're going to start it with the Illustrator, which I think it's interesting because most developers, myself included, I'm not that great with like doing design. But you realize that when you build something, it has to look good. And so you need assets. And how do you create these assets? And yeah, you can use AI, but some of the tools don't bring back the best photos, right, Robin? Like we tried probably like 10 of them before we found one. We were like, okay, this one we could use. So we're gonna try, I think, with Illustrator first, just to sort of like see, like, is it possible, like, as a developer, to potentially create some good art that's worthy of like putting out there on like an NFT collection. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. And here we go. Okay. So with Illustrator, you start with a blank canvas. And if you're not a designer, what do I do here? Do I draw some lines? Do I start with some circles? But I think like with the new AI craze, I think what's been really cool is that you can actually enter a prompt and it'll generate art for you. That when you're building an NFT collection, usually you're like changing one or two things and there's traits and things like that. And so let's see what we can do here. So I can start off with some of these inspirations, or I can come up with my own. And our inspiration comes from Robin. He created some really awesome traits that we're going to like build within this session. And so let me go ahead and paste that in here. And so let's see. So essentially what we're going to try to do is we are going to try to create some NFT that's cute, that kind of looks like a puffle. What's a puffle, Robin? I need information on that.
So a puffle is, I don't know how many people know, but maybe 10, 15 years back there was this game called Club Penguin, which is a very massive multiplayer online game. And they had these really cute blob kind of creatures called puffles, which is like this furry ball creature, which I really liked. And I thought, like, hey, like this is something that could be like an NFT ish thing. Because people like cool stuff, cool things, and cute stuff. So Yeah,
Nice.
that's what Waffle is.
Well, it seems like the community is in agreement that like generating a prompt with the assistance of the AI on a blank canvas is like mind blowing. And if you haven't tried it, let's try it together. But awesome idea, Robin. I love the puffle idea now that I know what it is, and it seems really cute. So let's see whether or not we can create like a puffle-like character that's fluffy, that's brown, that's expressive, oversized, and we have like some color ideas here because we're at Avail, so it needs to be on brand, which is also pretty hard. Like when you're a developer, staying on brand is super hard, but we're going to try to stay on brand here. And we're going to create a subject, probably not an icon or a scene, and let's just see what gets created. And so it's going to do its thinking, and its thinking is basically just AI just in the background, hopefully like creating a really cool image for us. And over here on the side, it gives you back variations. So we can start to see what it's going to look like before it's actually created. And it's looking like it's probably just like start coloring it in. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm not mad at it. How do you feel?
It looks a bit scary. I think there is variations like on your right. There's actually some better variations on your right, actually.
Okay, I'm hearing, okay, switch the variations. I don't know if that did better, Robin. This is still kind of in a scary zone. Maybe we need to try it again and say smile or something.
Yeah, I think it's going for a more realistic look for some reason. Like,
Mhm.
more
Okay.
realistic. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. So the community, you're calling it out properly. Like it's kind of weird.
It's very weird. Maybe but we did mention it's an adorable cartoon, so maybe the
Okay.
AI is not as smart as we think it is. Probably.
No, you can't tell AI that because AI is supposed to be really smart. Remember, we're trying to reach AGI, is it? And so it's
Yes.
supposed to outperform
Forgive,
us.
please forgive me, AI mods.
I can hear
Maybe
you.
we try something simple, maybe like cute, adorable thingy. I don't know.
You're right. Well, I'm gonna go with this, but let's say at the end we add just like a little bit more context. So, as I want to stay close to what you're going to create and see like how the different AIs perform. So, but I'm going to say, please smile. Please add a smile. No scary creatures, please. I've heard though that when you're mean to AI, it performs better, but that's not my style. So we're going to be using please and thank yous here, guys. Sorry. So let's go ahead and generate. And then I also heard that when you use please and thank you, you're wasting the company money. So I do also
Yeah.
apologize, Adobe. But I also know that I don't think that they have any issues with money right now. So things should be okay for them. Okay, let's see what we got.
Whoa.
AI is not listening to us at all. Not even close.
Nope.
Okay, so we have that one. We have that one. We have that one. Okay, this looks like in the opposite direction.
I think it took the word scary and doubled down on that.
Yeah.
Well,
It went the opposite direction. But we have the full support of the community to launch with this, it looks like. So there's also that.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So I did create one earlier because I wanted to test it out to see if it would even get close. And the first time around, it did something somewhat okay. It's still kind of scary, it's still kind of fluffy, but this is better than me trying to draw lines on the screens and start with like a circle and then add some fur. Like I just can't get close to this. It would take me a really long time versus handing it over to like a designer. And I'm a real fan of like using like Upwork or Fiverr. If anyone else in the community, if you had some recommendations, we would love to hear it. But there's so many designers out there that are just like amazing at their craft. And when they use Illustrator, everything comes out perfect. When we're using Illustrator right now, not so much. So, but it's getting us further than we would otherwise be. I think, Robin, right? So, okay. So this was fun. But we're developers, Robin and I, and so like our first instinct is not going to become to come to Illustrator. Like we might start here. Like a lot of times, this might be able to create like fun icons or like a logo even. But I would usually start within Cursor. as you guys have seen with many of my vibe coding sessions in the past. But let's just do that. So what do you think, Robin? Maybe we'll put the X on this. It would work if we knew what we were doing, but maybe we can come back to this later and see whether or not we can create some pretty good images. But I need a lot more like hands-on, like playing with Illustrator before I'm actually like good at this. And so, all right, all in agreement, say aye. Aye. Okay, so cursor. Guys, I'm not going to waste your time this time where you watch me like install npm or node or anything like that. I already have the package ready to go. Now, this is super simple. It's just, Next.js. That's my go-to. You guys all know by now. And Tailwind. So we're going to start with that. And from there, I'm going to pretty much do the same thing. I'm going to take Robin's prompt. And then what we're going to try to do is we're going to have it try to create an NFT generator for us that then we can use. I have some thoughts around this. I do think that this is going to, be the wrong way to go, because if this isn't what I'm going to be launching with, like the product that I'm going to actually be giving the community is to like provide you with a way to build NFTs all the time, but I'm just simply trying to create a collection. I'm not sure going this route is the right way, but we're still going to try it because it's fun. All right, so let's go to my lovely prompt from Robin. Okay, so we're going to start with the base prompt. And Robin, what I'm going to do is I am going to come here and let's do Claude. So here we go. Okay. All right, so here's the prompt. We use it in AI Illustrator. And let's go ahead and say, hey, create me a prompt to use within Cursor to build out an NFT generator app. Oops, let's spell it right. Using Next.js with app router. You have to be very specific. Otherwise, what I find is that it always gives you page router, and any Next.js devs out there, that's not the current way to go. So we got to be specific. And Tailwind. I won't add in so many other tools just yet, but I think this is a good enough like start. All right, so we do have a question. The app, do you mean the AI Illustrator? If you're talking about AI Illustrator, that app is from Adobe. And they do have a lovely, I think like 7-day or 14-day free trial that you can use before you like commit to it. But it's pretty awesome because it does give you a way to be able to just like generate images on the fly. All right, so it looks like Claude did not understand the current request. Instead of giving me the prompt, is actually trying to code it for me, which is kind of fun. Kind of like this, a little better than what we were creating. It's more simple, yes, but it's cute. It's not as scary, so we'll see. And this tool, by the way, guys, is just Claude. So Anthropic just has a really nice AI tool that you can just like use and prompt everything. And a lot of times I just start here, because before wasting credits with Cursor, I'll usually just start with Claude, so that way I can get everything right. And then I also will sometimes use Grok, because Grok is free for even longer and super helpful. Okay, so sorry, Claude. Sorry, not what I was looking for. I want a prompt to feed into Cursor so that I can have it generate an app. Okay, let's see if it does it right this time. Here's a direct prompt. All right, there we go. This is what we're after. We're after the prompt engineering, because if we have AI tell AI what to do, then I don't have to keep going back and forth. And I can do a lot of the back and forth here before wasting a lot of time in Cursor and have it recreate, delete, recreate all these files. This looks a bit heavy, but we'll see whether or not, Cursor can do it. Let's say simplify it a bit. Simplify this prompt a bit, please. Seems too long. Spelling mistake. You can tell I'm human because there's a typo. But Um, one of the things that I find Claude does a lot now with 4 is it will often err on like the longer side instead of the shorter side. And so I try to get it to be a little bit more deliberate and compact with what it's trying to do. So, all right. So the tools that we're using, not built by Avail, we're definitely just using them. And Canva is a really great place to like generate art. I absolutely love that. But if you need something just a little bit more compact, then Illustrator is also a really good way to go. Download it on your desktop, and that's what you use. But creators, they have so many tools at their disposal now. Where I remember there was the last question on the last session where is AI going to take over all the jobs? Yeah and no. I think it's going to be very helpful for a lot of jobs, and with creators and non-creators that want to get into creating, like it's really great for us being able to like create very easily just by prompting it. And so that's what we're testing out today. Okay, so I actually don't like this any better, so we're going to go with version 1. What do you think, Robin? I feel like this might be better than VB2.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go with the first version. Sounds
All
good.
right, let's see. Let's copy it all. All right. So this tool is still Claude, but we're about to switch over to Cursor. And for those who are just joining us, based off of the questions I'm seeing, this is what we did before. We created some pretty scary art with a simple prompt. And now we're going to move from this to Cursor to try to create an app to generate art instead. Essentially, we're going to try to create the Illustrator in a mini form, but we'll see how we get with that. Okay, so here we go. I have my blank folder. As you can see, like there's nothing in it, but it has the proper setup. And the prompt that I used to get there was super simple. Create me a Next.js app router shell here in this folder that includes Tailwind. And we're gonna be really bold and paste everything from the prompts engineering that we just had Claude create and see whether or not this can actually create the app that we want to create. What do you think? What's your vibe of 1 to, we'll go 5 on the success ratio of this?
Usually the first try doesn't go so well, but let's see. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now, but let's see. I mean, it does look like it is doing something. It is installing dependencies, blah 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 blah. Hasn't gotten to the meat of it yet. So yeah.
Gotcha.
I wonder if it is going to create an app where you like what would it create, like essentially, like is it going to create like an app where you can like edit your NFT or like edit the art or image, or like what exactly do you think is being built out here based on this prompt?
I have no idea. A lot of times I come in with like an idea of what I want to create, but this time I'm giving AI full reign to give me back something that it thinks that I want. And I'm curious to see how it interprets like what we asked for, which was like, hey, we have these traits, we have this idea, build us an app. And this is also like just using Cursor with Claude. Right now it's on audio, but it usually defaults to Claude. And so we're using the same tool. The thing that prompted us is the same thing that's going to be like creating the app within here. There is a fun question in the crowd about why is Naruto not speaking? And Naruto, how are you doing? He's a bit busy right now, fixing his kernel. Sorry, we kind of covered that.
I'm not doing kernel for sure, but I am working on some other stuff, and that is the whole reason. But you guys are doing better than me, so you go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why he's not speaking. But he's still here with us in spirit. And so one of the things that it's currently doing is it's just building out the application. And we already have some files being created. Now there's a question about like walking us through like how do you go from an idea to an actual end project, like end to end? Like what does that look like? And just to back it up, because this is going to take a few moments to create all the pages and things like that, because we asked it to create a few, I always like to start with the prompts. So for those that are new here, the prompt came from Robin, which was just like, okay, he's creating an NFT within some other no-code tools. I wanted to see whether or not we can create an NFT generator application using Next.js. And the prompting is simple. I'm asking Cursor to create me the actual prompt that I can use within Cursor. And so all the work that I do up front here makes this process easy. So now, because Claude came back with like the entire like file structure, like I don't have to think about this. All I know is that it's going to try to create me a page, try to create me some collections, try to create me, some sort of like CSS guidelines, and put it all together for me with a lot of these different, implementation details and UI components. And it created all of that from this super simple prompt. And so as you can see, it's still going, but it needs some new dependencies. And so this is like a one-paste wonder that we're going to see whether or not it works. But Robin, what are your, tips or advice for someone asking that question from the crowd? How do you go from 0 to 1?
Yes, that's a really good question. But yeah, I mean, for me, it would be like trying to start more simple. I would try to keep it. I would start off with some kind of a simple prompt where I have like a boilerplate of what I actually want, like core of it. So if I want like an NFT launchpad, for example, I would potentially first ask it to create like just the front end for it. Like no backend stuff needs to be built out. Just maybe give it some reference image. Like this is how I want it to look like. Uh, and then just give it that prompt saying that, hey, just build this is what I want it to look like. Just build that part out. Don't build out. Don't worry about the back end of it. Don't worry about anything else. And then once I have that, then I try to build the back end surrounding what is the front end. So in that way, you can move faster. Otherwise, what I've noticed is AI just gets confused with everything, and at the end of the day, like when you try to run and build it, it does not actually work. It just errors out most of the time. So you have to take small steps usually, because AI, maybe it's the model that I've been using, but sometimes it does not keep context really well. So if you just give it one big prompt and expect it to do everything at once, it probably doesn't. So, well, let's see if it does.
Yeah, and as you can see, like what we asked it to do was a lot. And so it's just like, okay, we're going to stop here. And so we have to get it to continue. But I think one of the things that could be helpful for the community is we could release something that shows how do you go from 0 to 1. I do write a lot about edge cases. How do people solve edge cases? Like if you're connecting a marketing website to like your backend code, because I'm not all for build it all in one, which is the easy way, but the easy way is actually the hard way. So I do a lot of posts about that, but it would be fun to do a post about how do you just start? How do you go from 0 to 1? How do you get that spark, essentially? And I think it's a hard question to answer because it does take a lot of iterations to go from having like an idea to a full like project. I know like we're being promised like this concept of AI is going to save us all and you can just like do one prompt and you have everything. But as you constantly see here, it's just not that simple. And there's a lot of back and forth that you have to do. So.
All right, we have a question from someone who's asking, "What's the use? What are we actually trying to build with this vibe code? Is it to generate the NFT, or to create an app that can generate the NFT?"
Yeah, so we're trying to create an app that generates the NFT.
Okay.
It's gonna be pretty fun. So let's see whether or not we're successful with that. So what I'm seeing here is it's finally done. I don't see any errors, and usually that's a good enough time for me to start installing and then running it to see what AI came back with. And either it came back with us, come back to us like something super useful, or it did not. And a lot of times the answer is going to be it did not, but we're going to try it anyway. So, and just like that, we already have some errors. So let's see what this is about. Okay. So it didn't like that. I'm just going to go ahead and do this and this. Got an error. Please fix. And so for like those like watching, what you're not seeing me do is write any code. What you are seeing me do is a lot of copy and pasting. And so for the beginners like out there, like that's kind of how you get started, because it may feel overwhelming when you see all the code like flashing behind the screen, but you don't have to worry about that. What you need to worry about is simply just being able to like add in your idea and then get AI to fix any errors that come up. Okay, and so let's go ahead and accept these changes. Okay, so now we should be able to run it. Let's see. Okay, looks like we're able to run it. Are we ready for the reveal of what it created?
Oh.
Not helpful. Not helpful, not even close. Okay, so I'm going to show, again, for the beginners, to show you just how you can actually just go and have it like fix your issues. Is okay, so the UI looks horrible. Please fix. And then I'm gonna add the image here. So we have this lovely screenshot. Let's go ahead and add that in. And let's see.
This is why I do the front end first.
Yes, right.
Because this is what I've noticed. Like even during some of our previous Vibecoding sessions, when we ask it to build the functionality first, it just does something, and then the UI looks horrible. So rather, it has no CSS. It does nothing.
And you get, sorry, Robin.
Yeah, I'm done.
I was gonna say, and you get like different results every single time. Like we tried this out and the UI was beautiful. And now AI is just like, yeah, I don't know what you want. Maybe you want like this white page with icons that are larger than life here. And sure, let me throw in some links for you as well. Not helpful. And so what you will find is that a lot of times if I get here and I'm just like, this is not even close, I didn't get very far. And so a lot of times I just kind of start over. And that's really helpful because you can just keep trying. Like, I think any advice I would have to a beginner is that if you don't get back what you want from the first time around, just completely delete it and start over. Maybe you need to change the prompt. Maybe the prompt needs to be less specific, because as you saw, like with our prompts, we kind of went all out. And what we did was we ended up having AI try to do too much at once. And one thing I've noticed is that, as Robin pointed out, it's easier if you have AI focused on one component and then add in the rest. So start with the UI and then add in the backend. Start with the API if you already know how API is going to look, and then build the front end. Like, do what feels most comfortable for you and then add in the extra parts later. So great advice, Robin. But so that way we don't end this part on a failure. See, we told you sometimes things will break. And this is the one time, our first time, where it's actually breaking and it's not looking good. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually move over to the one that we did try in the first time and see what that one looks like. So I used a different prompt, and let me show you what that looks like. The prompt that I used here was way smaller. And so it did not ask AI to do too much. And it really only had like 2 pages that it wanted to create for me. And it didn't like direct it to like create 20 pages at once. So Robin, to your point, like way better like flow than what we did before. And even though it's simple, like the other one is super not simple. I have a page, I have a couple of components. And for the beginners that are looking, I did not code any of this. I simply prompted it and it created like a couple of files. And from here, like when I run it, what it did for me was it created something that was actually useful. And so this is going to be on, I think, 2. This is what it created, which is not the best UI. I mean, I must admit, but for those, it looks better. Like we're all in the dark background like phase still, I think, with development. So at least I copied that. So we have dark mode enabled from the beginning. and we have the color scheme. So yay, marketing. I know we don't have Edgar here today, but if you're out in the crowd, we're somewhat trying to make you happy by keeping it on brand. And so we're on brand a little bit, but not really. And then you can add in the different traits based off of what Robin had said that we wanted to do. And there's a generate button. So this goes to like Robin's point, where sometimes simple is better. And instead of pasting like a larger prompt, which is why I was trying to get Cursor to do, I was like, hey, how about instead of you giving me that crazy prompt, you simplify it? And it did not simplify it. Well, I guess it did simplify it, but it didn't feel as simple as it could have been. So, okay. Robin, I feel like you can actually save the day here because we are trying to code it, but I think we're in that build versus buy mentality. And for some things, you don't need to build it out yourself. You can buy it because there's a lot of cheaper alternatives out there. Like the amount of energy is going to take me to build this. Well, this is not the product I want to end with. I want to build an app that uses these NFTs. Why am I building an NFT generator? Well, because I can is not usually a good answer. And so, Robin, let's switch to your screen because I think you might have something better to show.
Yep. So, I mean, this looks great already. The UI is fine. I guess the only issue is the main star that we wanted was the NFT itself, and that looks, I don't know what that is, but it's something. So,
It's pretty bad. It's not as scary as for those that are late to joining us. Like here is where we started with AI Illustrator. It's really fancy, but it's really scary. And we moved over to something that was just too basic. Like yes, we probably can interject like some AI tool to like generate the art and connect to API. But again, not the product we're really trying to build, and so that just might be a bit overkill. So yeah, let's go over to your screen. So I'm going to stop sharing and let's switch to yours.
all right. Let me screen real quick. Okay. All right. Hope you can see my screen.
Yep, we can see it now.
Okay. So, essentially, what we're going to be using is this no-code tool that I found by Googling, basically. So Google is still not dead, guys. It still works. Can't rely on AI for everything. But so essentially, what I wanted to build or create was this NFT collection. By just prompting it, this looks like a really cool website where you can um, define what the attributes are going to be looking like, and you can create your own art. What I wanted, so my target image looks something like this. So this is what I mentioned, that the club penguin puffles, something that looks really cute. It's round, it's got big eyes, it's got some uh, puffy things on his head, whatever it is. But this is what I was going for, and essentially,
Robin, I can't see your screen anymore. I think it logged
oh,
off. So
that's weird. Just give me.
no worries.
All right, can you see it now?
We almost there. We go. Yep, we can.
Okay, so as I was saying, this is the kind of thing that I wanted to kind of create. Like, this is the puffles from my childhood, like some childhood game that I used to play called Club Penguin. Pretty cute thing. I wanted to recreate it with AI NFTs, right?
Cool.
Great. So this is a Web3 tool, so you can basically buy some credits. I guess you can create like 100 images with around $30 worth of ETH at this time.
And you're paying with crypto, right?
Yeah, I'm paid with crypto. Yeah, so
There
it's
you
pretty
go.
cool. It's crypto native. It is for crypto users. So my prompt is pretty simple. Create. So the idea here is we want to create a base character for our NFT. So, like most NFT PFPs that you might see, like for example, that you see in this background here, you have a
Yeah.
dog, which is your base character, and then you have these attributes on top of it. So that's what we're going to try and do here. We have a single cartoon blob type blob character, soft, fluffy, rounded body, expressive with oversized eyes. We'll give
Not
it
scared.
not scary. Yes, it's cute. And we tell it to give it a clean vector art with bold outlines, just to give the art style some, just to give it an idea about the art style. uh, and then we do tell it to stick to the background color of Avail's brand colors. Let's see if it does or not. But we want to keep it simple, in a collectible form, playful, friendly, and cute, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not giving it any other reference image. Let's see what it does.
Okay. And for reference, guys, this is the same prompt that I used on my two examples with an illustrator and in trying to build our own. So we'll see what this does. And maybe we can take a vote on which three we like.
Yes, awesome. So we got some variations out here. All right. So let me just zoom that in. All right. So we have one that looks like this, one that looks, I feel like this looks much cuter.
Okay.
This also looks better. And we got this. So I'm leaving it up to you guys to choose which one, because I like all of them. So which one do we choose as a base character?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So they're all cute and none of them look scary,
Yeah.
which is helpful. Ah,
Let's ask the comments. I don't know if anyone in the comments have any preference.
all right. Anybody? Anybody? Let's see. Okay, maybe show each four again. So this is number one, number
Second.
two, number three, and number four. I'm impartial to between number one and number three.
I know, right? Same. One out of three is my pick as well.
Okay, the three has legs though, like little
Yeah.
legs, just sort of like sticking out there at the bottom, which is kind of cute.
All right. We can go with that. We can go with that. No problem.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna click continue. So it's gonna review the reference image, just doing some stuff in the back end. So we'll just wait for that to complete.
It would have taken us all week to probably get to building out something like this, Robin, I think.
Actually, true. Like, we haven't talked to the guys at 1Mint, but whoever you guys are, if you're watching the stream, you built a really good product already. So I'll probably tag you in my tweet when I post about this. But yeah.
Good idea. Good idea. Okay.
Okay. So now all we need to do is we need to give it a name. So what do we want to name it?
Oh,
Okay.
Avail Puffles. Puffles.
All right. Okay. Avail Puffles. I'm going to name it Avail Puffles. Cute, round creatures. That look. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So we're not going to create a bunch of 99 NFTs. We're going to stick to maybe 10. 10
Yeah.
sounds good?
10 sounds
All right.
good. Maybe 5. Let's start even smaller.
All right. 5 is good as well. We don't want to. All right. That makes sense.
Over ourselves, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, okay, 5 is good. And we're going to do an EVM chain because I have funds on an EVM chain for now. So I'm going to click continue. And what we have here right now is we've got the base NFT, right? And that's cool. That's nice. But now we can add layers to it, right? Now I can, if I want, I can change the background color. I can basically determine what the accessory, any headpieces, any eyewears that I want. Yeah, so I can do all of that if I want to. Or I can, let me see.
Oh.
So I can, customize all of these things. So one cool thing about this tool that I've seen is, for example, you want the sunset background with something with another particular trait. So like you have So that means like if you have a sunset background, then you will always have a cap, for example. You can kind of force that rule into this generation.
Okay.
That's something you can do. I mean, we can keep that if we want to, or we can just. I mean, I was thinking we drop all of the background colors and just keep this, whichever is fine. I honestly don't mind any. We can keep it as is also. Um,
Keeping it as is cool, but could you imagine in the future if we were like, okay, must have a cap, and in between it had like a veil plus someone's like Twitter image next to it,
mm.
and we really, I don't know, just thinking, thinking out
I
loud.
mean, you could. I think. Let me just see. So, if I want to add like something, give me an idea for some new layer. Maybe shoes, right? Let me see if shoes work. I don't know if it will generate it properly,
Yeah,
but so one thing is if I have, so suppose if I want the Avail branded caps, I can generate it with any other or ask some graphic designer to make it out or make it for me, and we
yeah,
can upload files here for it to use as a reference image, or we
yeah.
can create a custom assets. Like custom assets mean like we give it the system of what it would be. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now because it is not going to. I mean, in the sense I don't have an idea of what I want to add here. Maybe I can add shoes.
Hmm.
Maybe not. Wait. You know what? We'll go back. We'll go back and try things out.
Yeah.
As we'll just go with the default and see what it creates. Right. So we have all of the default things. Now we're going to go to preview, generating the art for us, as you can see. And this might take maybe a minute, but it wouldn't take too much time from
Okay.
what I did before. But essentially, this would work. And let me just go here. But okay. So essentially, OneMint has this dashboard where you can see like I've tried this before, um, and built. I've created some collections before. You can also on this platform once you created your collection, you can deploy it as an ES721 contract.
Nice.
Uh, so I did deploy it on base. So there is a contract address here. So let me see if I can actually go there.
Okay, so that's super cool. So it doesn't just create the art, it also creates the contract for you and then
Yes.
deploy it. Now that's
Yeah. I
amazing.
mean,
It's
yeah.
like
Now
all
I just yeah. So yeah, once I mean I have to. So the contract is there, but obviously there is unless you know what the functions are, and if you don't have the API, like you can't actually interact with it, and you might not be a dev to actually do that. So that's fine actually because you can create your own marketplace here. So you just have to connect your uh, contract, and you have to create uh, your marketplace. Again, you can do all of this. I'll try to go through all of it, but essentially this would create your own UI. You can create your own mint button and all of that, so you don't have to worry about anything, even starting from the collection design to deploying the contracts to have your own marketplace. You don't have to worry about anything. It's all handled for you, and it's taking time
cool.
apparently. Let's see.
Can I see some of the past ones that you created while this is going? I'm curious. I'm impatient. I want to see like what does it look like now? With
uh,
the
Let
puffs.
me see. Try. Uh, uh, mm,
Oh, right now it only like creates one at a time. You're only able to see.
Let me. I don't think I can look at
Okay,
that again.
no worries. We can do it then.
Let me click randomize again. See what
Maybe it's getting hung up on the shoes.
maybe probably. I mean, it shouldn't happen, but all right. we see something. Okay,
Oh wait,
we
there
got
we
one.
go.
Great. So I
That's
mean, we got one. It looks
mhm.
nice. Looks nice. So it has a flower. It has got a thing. Like, what do you call this thing?
It's like a halo.
Halo. Yeah, it's like a halo. You've got eyeglasses. So yeah, we've got some of these things already here, right? Oh yeah, so we've got the halo one. So there's one NFT that would have a halo.
Yes.
This is the square glasses, square frames. So probably this, uh, a flower. So yeah, it's this one, right? This is the
That,
one that has all of these attributes, and it has the sunset background. So
okay.
yeah, I mean, it
That's
is
really
generating. It probably takes some time to do it. All right.
no, but that's cool. I imagine too, like you can add in rarity features to where I know you had showed that slider where it was like the percentage of
Yeah.
like it would show up. Like if you made it to where it can only show up like 1% of the time, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, so now I can actually, if I want to make it legendary or whatever, I can I can keep the rarity as that. I can change it, or I can like keep it to how many NFTs should can have like the pastel blue background, for example, right? I can change it like that, or I can keep it common or, or rare, whatever. So
Okay. This
I'm
is
doing
a much more streamlined way of creating NFTs than I guess creating an app for it. Illustrator, I think can do pretty cool stuff. Still scary, but I think if we got through the scare factor, it could help us with creating like assets to put in here, which could be pretty nice.
yeah.
But that's awesome.
Hopefully, I am able to show the end result, but I guess not. Let me see. I cannot show this. Let me download it. Oh, why?
Overall, though, I am loving the UX experience with this. Minus the
Can
down.
you? Oh, okay. Let me just share my screen again here. This time with the entire screen on show. See my screen?
Yeah, we can see it now. Okay, so that's what. Oops, wrong one. Oh man, there you go.
Okay. So if you can see my screen, this was a previously generated artworks. So you have the buffles with a hat, a cap, a chain which has a star on it, a chain with a circle on it. The backgrounds are changed.
Oh,
Uh,
that's cute.
there's another one here, right? So I mean, it looks really nice. There's a watch on this, bow tie on this one, and I created another one. So looks really cute. It's really nice. And then I actually did deploy this, but I did not deploy the marketplace and the contracts. So
Mhm.
is there? Um, but yeah, I did deploy the contracts, but I didn't deploy the marketplace. So yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So all in one, I think this session I'm more in favor and buy versus build. What you were able to create is super cool. But I will say we did get pretty far, I think, with the illustrator, not super far, I think, with the cursor, just because of everything we were trying to do all in one.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. But we'll leave it up to the community. You guys decide what is your favorite way of creating NFTs, and also share some tips with us. As you can see, Robin and I are not NFT creator generators, but we tried, and hopefully the community learned some things along the way. Um, but any last words of wisdoms from you, Robin?
Yeah, I mean, keep it simple, vibe code more, and have fun while you do it.
All right, we're gonna go check on Naruto, guys. Everyone have a great evening or night or morning or wherever you are. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here for me, so
It's 10 p.m. over here for me, but all right. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay. Bye from the opposite end of the world, Robert. Bye.